Continuing from previous chapter, Su Shuiying succeeds in obtaining the vital essence of 7-star Do Di, and then proposes a deal to Xiao Yan regarding the Xiao clan's pact. Xiao Yan had long known from his master, the Golden Dragon King, that Su Shuiying was determined to obtain the Emperor's blood essence. However, when these words were spoken from Su Shuiying's own lips, he couldn't help but feel a bit frustrated. Starting from the defeat of the 7 Guardians, the troubles caused by both of them absorbing the black and white yin-yang hearts, to encountering the terrifying skeletal remains in the stone chamber. All of these were results of their combined efforts. Yet, it seemed that all their hard work would ultimately benefit Su Shuiying. Xiao Yan's expression darkened at the thought. Originally feeling somewhat resentful, Xiao Yan was surprised when Su Shuiying mentioned that although she would take the Emperor's blood essence, she wanted to make an agreement with him. Hearing this, his mood lifted. Why is it that the Xiao clan has no trace on the Do Di continent, he pondered. And what exactly are Su Shuiying and her people guarding? Unanswered mysteries continued to perplex Xiao Yan. Now, hearing Su Shuiying's words, he couldn't help but turn his gaze sharply towards her. She must know something. What is your connection to my clan? Xiao Yan asked eagerly. Knowing the answer would make his journey on the Do Di continent much smoother, rather than stumbling around like a headless fly. Sorry, I can't tell you that just yet, Su Shuiying replied bluntly. As expected, still no answer. Xiao Yan muttered to himself, his fervent gaze gradually calming. Then what is this agreement you mentioned? He asked, returning to his normal tone as he faced Su Shuiying. Su Shuiying's lips parted slightly. My master once told me that if I encountered someone with a mark on your forehead during my travels, I should bring them back to the clan at all costs. We are guarding something extremely important that must be returned to you. As she spoke, the crimson blood essence that had been lying quietly in her jade-like hand was placed into a jade bottle, where it remained calmly. After completing this, Su Shuiying continued, however, what we are guarding involves too many things. In your current state, you won't be able to confront them. Her beautiful eyes narrowed slightly. Though these words might have dealt a blow to Xiao Yan, it was the truth. He was still too weak. Some things were better left unknown. Damn it, what exactly do you mean? Xiao Yan demanded, growing agitated. What game was Su Shuiying playing? First, she used her strength to suppress him, and now she had taken the Emperor's blood essence alone. She still hadn't explained the mystery surrounding his Xiao clan, which angered Xiao Yan further. Noticing Xiao Yan's sudden change in expression, Su Shuiying spoke again. However, I believe that someone who has been recognized as the master by the fire spirit is definitely not an ordinary person. I propose a 100-year agreement. From this moment on, if within 100 years you reach the Do Xian level, you will have the strength to protect that item. At that time, you can burn this lotus leaf to summon me. I will take you back, reveal everything you wish to know, and let you reclaim what is rightfully yours. If you fail to reach that level, it simply means you lack the capability to protect it, and I will bear the burden on your behalf. You can continue your carefree life. As Su Shuiying spoke, a lotus leaf floated down from the green lotus platform. She stood on and flew straight toward Xiao Yan. Taking the lotus leaf, he felt a cold sensation seep into him. Carefully, he placed it into his storage ring, contemplating the implications of Su Shuiying's words. For ordinary people, a lifespan could extend for hundreds of years, barring accidents. A Do Emperor's life was even longer, with their appearance remaining youthful until their final years. 100 years would pass in the blink of an eye for a Do Emperor. For most, advancing 4 or 5 stars from the base of a Do Emperor in 100 years would already make them stand out. But this only applied to regular cultivators. Each level of advancement for a Do Emperor was incredibly challenging, taking anywhere from a few years to several decades. Xiao Yan was currently at the peak of 3-star Do Emperor, and there was still a significant gap to reach Do Xian. Thus, a century-long agreement was but a moment's time for a Do Emperor. It would pass quickly. Xiao Yan was just over 30 years old. Even after 100 years, it would still be a prime time for his cultivation. Perhaps it's best to agree, Xiao Yan thought. He knew well enough that reaching Do Xian from the peak of 3-star Do Emperor in 100 years was laughable for most. But he was different. You possess the flame mantra. You can continuously advance by harnessing the power of the sacred flame. This agreement is not out of the question. The Golden Dragon King, being of the dragon race and having the purest bloodline, understood that 100 years was like a nap to his kind. Hearing this from his master, Xiao Yan couldn't help but feel exasperated. Indeed, the lifespans of magical beasts and dragons are exceedingly long. So, have you made up your mind? Su Shuiying asked, observing the changes in Xiao Yan's expression. I agree, Xiao Yan replied with a smile. The 100-year agreement. He understood that certain things require sufficient strength to protect. He didn't need Su Shuiying or the Golden Dragon King to remind him of this. He knew it well from his experiences on the Do-D continent. He didn't want to suffer a second time. Then it's a deal, Su Shuiying said, pleased to see this attitude. If Xiao Yan had insisted on fighting for the Emperor's blood essence, a fierce battle would have been inevitable. Although she didn't fear him, he was still from the Xiao clan, even if his strength was somewhat lacking. Boom, boom, boom. As the two spoke, the stone chamber began to shake violently, as if it were about to collapse. Since that's the case, I'll take my leave first. Until we meet again, Su Shuiying said. Her jade-like feet stepped onto a green lotus that emitted bursts of azure flames, enveloping her. Then, with a swift motion, she tore open a small space and darted into it, disappearing from the stone chamber. Goodbye. To achieve the rank of Do Xian within 100 years? That's pure nonsense. I'll take responsibility for that matter myself, Su Shuiying muttered to herself as she slipped into the spatial crack. However, every word was overheard by the Golden Dragon King, who relayed them verbatim to Xiao Yan. Damn it! Are you trying to deceive me? Xiao Yan bellowed in anger upon hearing the words. Don't worry, Xiao Yan. If I say you can achieve it, you certainly can. By then, even that proud woman will have to re-evaluate you. The Golden Dragon King laughed heartily. Xiao Yan, initially infuriated, calmed himself through cultivation. His previously grim face broke into a radiant smile as he gazed at the spot where Su Shuiying vanished. If you think I can't reach it, then I'll prove you wrong. 30 years east of the river, 30 years west. Never underestimate the ambitions of the young. What's more, a century? Master, let's leave as well. Now that the Emperor's blood essence has been taken, this relic is on the verge of collapsing. Xiao Yan glanced at the crumbling space and with a wave of his hand, collected the numerous precious herbs from the stone chamber into his storage ring. Leave! Xiao Yan, you left something so valuable behind? The Golden Dragon King chided with a laugh. Could it be? Upon hearing this, Xiao Yan scanned the bare stone chamber and then turned his gaze to the frozen skeleton. With Su Shuiying's departure, the once frozen skeleton began to slowly thaw. Deprived of the Emperor's blood essence that had sustained it, the skeleton lost its vitality, its jade-white bones emitting an invisible force. Indeed, the bones of a powerhouse at the pinnacle of 7-star Do Emperor are of great value. If nothing else, these Emperor's bones could be a rare treasure for reviving and crafting a body. Combined with other powerful materials, the resulting creation would possess terrifying strength. The Golden Dragon King mused, gazing thoughtfully at the pristine jade-white skeleton. Revive? Hearing his master's words, Xiao Yan was momentarily stunned. Then, he recalled something significant from his time on the Do-Chi continent. Currently, I am but a remnant soul, barely even that from some perspectives. If not for the peculiarities of the heavenly tomb, I would have long since dissipated into nothingness. As for resurrection, it's probably impossible. Is there truly no way? Xiao Yan asked, a hint of desperation in his voice. At least I know of no method to resurrect myself. Perhaps a legendary Do-D might have the means, Xiao Xuan said, shaking his head with a smile. His gaze softened as he looked at Xiao Yan. To achieve such accomplishments without relying on the power of your bloodline. Honestly, it makes me immensely proud. A son of the Xiao clan is never ordinary. Xiao Yan remembered his encounter with his ancestor, Xiao Xuan, in the heavenly tomb, where, with the latter's help, he regained the Xiao clan's bloodline power and subsequently advanced to an Emperor Realm soul. Recalling these events, memories of his time in the heavenly tomb flooded his mind. Master, back on the Doqi continent, I had an ancestor who perished. If I wanted to bring him back to life, trusting his master, the Golden Dragon King, Xiao Yan laid everything out. The ancient past is impossible to verify. No one understands why reaching the Do-D level is so difficult now. When your ancestor Xiao Xuan reached the peak of 9-star Do Sheng, he attempted to break through to that elusive level, but repeatedly failed. However, through these failures he did discover something. With his strength at the time, your ancestor was capable of breaking through to Do-D. Yet, whenever he was on the verge of overcoming that barrier, a sense of emptiness would well up from deep within his soul. This feeling of void made him realize that something crucial was missing in his attempt to reach the Do-D level. Whatever this missing element is, it's extremely vital. If one could obtain it, breaking through to Do-D would not be a pipe dream. Hearing this, the Golden Dragon King contemplated deeply. His mind was filled with Xiao Yan's words. Both Xiao Yan and Tuasha, ancient emperor, hailed from the same plane. Given the Golden Dragon King's close bond with Tuasha, he naturally knew that the Do-Chi continent lacked the source energy necessary to reach Do-D. Though this source energy does not exist in the upper planes like the Do-D continent, the Do-Chi continent, being a lower plane, begins all cultivation from the base level of Do-Chi, progressing to Do-Zun, Do-Sheng, and Do-D. Through all these ranks, Xiao Yan's ancestor Xiao Xuan managed to reach the pinnacle of the Do-Chi continent, the late-stage peak of 9-star Do Sheng, and even discovered the crucial missing source energy for breaking through to Do-D. These feats alone demonstrate his extraordinary nature, and even the discerning Golden Dragon King couldn't help but hold Xiao Yan's ancestor in high regard. Revival isn't entirely impossible. Crafting a body has always been a skill of alchemists like you. The Golden Dragon King spoke slowly. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yan's eyes lit up with intensity. He held a deep sense of gratitude toward his ancestor Xiao Xuan. Sky fired 3 mysterious changes. Terrifying flames surged from Xiao Yan's body as he activated his bloodline, a mysterious rune slowly appearing on his forehead. This enigmatic Xiao clan rune emerged, and a tiny gray light point drifted from his forehead to his palm. Staring at this life imprint, Xiao Yan exhaled softly and looked down, casting a glance at the Golden Dragon King floating in front of him. This gray life imprint was the very one Xiao Yan had obtained back in the heavenly tomb. When he saw the spot where Xiao Xuan had vanished, he had murmured softly and extended his hand toward the void. As his hand grasped the air, an invisible gray speck appeared in his palm, unseen by ordinary eyes. This was Xiao Xuan's life imprint, a mark that only those with a soul in the Emperor Realm could perceive. Even if one's Do-Chi reached the late-stage peak of 9-star Do Sheng, they couldn't sense such a profound existence. From one perspective, Xiao Xuan back then had essentially scattered into the wind, his formidable presence on the Do-Chi continent completely dissipated. However, for Xiao Yan, whose soul had stepped into the Emperor Realm, it wasn't the end. This life imprint might one day restore Xiao Xuan's life. Still, this method was beyond the capabilities of Xiao Yan when he was on the Do-Chi continent, even after his soul entered the Emperor Realm. Perhaps when he truly advanced to the legendary Do-D realm, he could accomplish it. In the center of his palm, the intangible life imprint slowly ascended before burrowing into Xiao Yan's forehead, safeguarded by his vast soul power that seemed to encompass the heavens and earth. Perhaps in the distant future, this elder who had sacrificed everything for the Xiao clan could reappear in the world. It was a glimmer of hope, distant but enough to keep the fire of determination alive. Even though Xiao Yan hadn't been able to revive his ancestor Xiao Xuan in the past, now he had broken through the shackles of Do-D and successfully advanced to Do-D himself. His soul power had also improved, and the idea of reviving Xiao Xuan was no longer far-fetched. Master, what materials are needed to craft a body on the Do-D continent? Xiao Yan inquired, realizing that the Do-D continent was quite different from the Do-Chi continent. He suddenly remembered the promise he made to his ancestor Xiao Xuan. Xiao Yan clearly remembered that on the Do-Chi continent, he had once crafted a body for the Do-Zun of fire and his master Yao Lao. Back then, crafting a body required flames fused from 3 types of heavenly flames. The pills needed were of extremely high grade, and the magical beast blood used was exceedingly potent. Only then could the body be successfully crafted. However, their strength was not as formidable as his ancestor Xiao Xuan. The stronger the soul, the more stringent the requirements for the body. If the body crafted couldn't contain the immense power, it would explode instantly, making all efforts futile. After all, only a powerful body could restore peak strength after resurrection, and the quality of the body directly limited future cultivation potential. So this matter couldn't be taken lightly. Given your ancestor Xiao Xuan's strength at the late-stage peak of 9-star Do Sheng, it proves that he was a person of extraordinary talent. Thus, the body crafted for him cannot be ordinary. Now, with these emperor's bones, combined with some medicinal herbs, the crafted body would be near perfect, the Golden Dragon King said, standing before Xiao Yan, his gaze fixed approvingly on the emperor's bones. Hearing this, Xiao Yan's eyes brightened. If the emperor's bones were used as the core, along with numerous high-grade pills, there was a high chance of reviving his ancestor Xiao Xuan to a point beyond Do Sheng, directly reaching the pinnacle of 7-star Do Emperor. Even though Xiao Xuan's soul strength was at the peak of Do Sheng, the body he could craft would be at the peak of 7-star Do Emperor. A genuine peak 7-star Do Emperor powerhouse. Even on the Xinling continent, such a figure could become a pillar of an extraordinary force, someone who could roam freely with great authority. With excitement in his heart, Xiao Yan's gaze returned to the jade-white skeleton in front of him. Xiao Yan's eager thoughts were naturally noticed by his master, the Golden Dragon King, who then rolled his eyes and said, "Look at how excited you are. It's just a peak 7-star Do Emperor. Have some ambition." Xiao Yan was at a loss for words, though he vaguely understood that his master, the Golden Dragon King, must be extraordinarily powerful. However, the peak of a 7-star Do Emperor was still a symbol of tremendous power, yet his master spoke of it as if it were worthless, leaving him momentarily speechless. "All right, put away these Emperor's bones, and I'll explain everything in detail," the Golden Dragon King said again. "Remember to envelop them with your flames," he added. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yan's pupils narrowed, and he thought to himself, "These Emperor's bones are indeed formidable, but to be constantly burned by his heavenly flames. Wouldn't they be damaged?" Although his heavenly flames might not compare to the sacred flame on the Do-D continent, their power was still quite substantial. These precious bones were a rare treasure, not easily found. Sensing Xiao Yan's hesitation, the Golden Dragon King scoffed. "Humph, do you think your flames can damage these Emperor's bones? Dream on. Even if you used your full power with your flames, you wouldn't leave a scratch on them." Feeling embarrassed, Xiao Yan scratched his head. Then, a milky white flame instantly enveloped the Emperor's bones. "My apologies, Senior," Xiao Yan said abruptly, bowing deeply. Without further hesitation, the milky white flame bones transformed into a beam of light and entered the storage ring on Xiao Yan's finger. After finishing everything, Xiao Yan nodded and smiled lightly. "Master, I've now fused 23 types of heavenly flames, and I'm a first-rank Emperor-grade alchemist. With the Emperor's bones of a peak 7-star Do Emperor in hand, is it now possible to craft a body to house my ancestor's soul?" Hearing Xiao Yan's words, the Golden Dragon King was momentarily stunned. Then, feeling a bit gratified, he patted Xiao Yan's head, his demeanor softening. With a smile, he said, "Crafting a typical body is relatively straightforward, but creating a body for a Do-D powerhouse requires materials that are exceedingly rare and even terrifying, so this isn't something that can be rushed." Even someone as powerful as the Golden Dragon King yearned for rebirth. Although Xiao Yan seemed quite weak now, the Golden Dragon King believed that this young man before him would one day enable his rebirth. After all, no soul would willingly endure an existence in endless darkness, and the Golden Dragon King still had unfinished business to attend to. What materials are needed? I currently hold the title of Elder at the Alchemist Association in Qing City, and with the support of the Yu family, perhaps they could help in the search, Xiao Yan pressed on. These things aren't something that can be found through a simple search, the Golden Dragon King chuckled bitterly. However, seeing the earnest look in Xiao Yan's eyes, he could only nod reluctantly and said, "To craft a body that can house your ancestor's soul and resurrect him, there are 4 essential items." Seeing his master, the Golden Dragon King, raise 4 fingers, Xiao Yan immediately focused, leaning in closer to listen. First, the life-building blood pill. Second, the essence bloodline of a Tier 7 Emperor-level magical beast. Third, the bones of a Do-D powerhouse. Fourth, the soul of the one to be resurrected. Even a fragment or imprint with some soul power will suffice. As the 4 requirements slowly emerged from the Golden Dragon King's mouth, Xiao Yan's previously fervent expression gradually turned to one of stupefaction. Life-building blood pill? Even as a first-rank Emperor-grade alchemist, Xiao Yan had never heard of such a thing. Fortunately, he learned from his well-informed master, the Golden Dragon King, that this pill was a pinnacle-level Emperor-grade Tier 3 pill, potentially reaching the peak of Emperor-grade pills. It was said to be a miraculous elixir, capable of reviving even those on the brink of death with just a drop of blood. Emperor-grade Tier 1 pills are classified into 3 levels: Heaven, Earth, and Mystic, followed by Emperor-grade Tier 2, again categorized as Heaven, Earth, and Mystic, and then Emperor-grade Tier 3. An alchemist's advancement and power are closely tied to their soul strength, and this first requirement alone stumped Xiao Yan. The essence bloodline of a Tier 7 Emperor-level magical beast? This was a beast with strength comparable to the 7-star Do Emperor peak powerhouse right before him. Xiao Yan found it challenging enough to escape from a 7-star Do Emperor peak expert, let alone slay a magical beast of comparable strength. It was uncertain who would end up killing whom. At this level, magical beasts were rulers of their domains, and not entities that the current Xiao Yan could provoke. A Tier 1 Emperor-level magical beast was akin to a human 1-star Do Emperor expert. However, when it came to a direct confrontation, who would come out on top remained a mystery. Magical beasts were known for their thick hides and suspicious nature, while humans were cunning and skilled in strategy. The bones of a Do-D powerhouse? Fortunately, there was a set of such bones right in front of him, sparing Xiao Yan a great deal of trouble. Otherwise, would he have had to kill a 7-star Do Emperor peak powerhouse? As for his ancestor Xiao Xuan's soul imprint, Xiao Yan already possessed it. While he was still far from obtaining the magical beast essence and the life-building blood pill, he already had 2 out of the 4 materials, which made Xiao Yan nod slightly. Having a clear goal was far better than searching blindly. His master, the Golden Dragon King, was knowledgeable, and preparing according to these materials meant that the day of his ancestor Xiao Xuan's resurrection was not too far off. Seeing Xiao Yan's astonished expression, the Golden Dragon King smiled with a slow, comforting nod. This child is truly thoughtful.